So I am a huge sports fan, many of you know that, and one of the things about sports that really resonates with me, especially lately, is how it unifies people. It really cuts out the noise of news and politics and stressful things. And when it comes to brands in sports, as one very smart and accomplished retail CMO said recently, if you are putting your brand at the center of culture, you have to put it at the center of sports. So today, I'm excited to have American Eagle VP of Marketing, Ashley Schapiro. She's going to talk about how her company has been investing in sports to attract and inspire new audiences and enhance the American Eagle brand. Please join me in welcoming Ashley Schapiro to the stage.
I haven't decided if I'm sitting or standing, so we're gonna decide here. So welcome everybody. Hope everyone, as they said, is keeping cool. The air conditioning in here is amazing, so I assume that you will stay for my full panel to enjoy this weather. So we're here to talk about sports. And what I think is so interesting about sports is it spans generations. My husband, my father, my son, they all watch the same sports. They watch them, they follow them, they fantasize about them. They all do the same things, despite many years in age difference. When it comes to athletes, a 9-year-old boy and a 75-year-old man are wearing the jersey of the same athlete. They are following him. They are inspired by him or her. We also know that sports is spanning genders, right? Women's sports fandom is growing exponentially with people like Coco Gauff, people like Paige Bruckers, I can name hundreds of them. All these women are really changing what sports looks like for the next generation of women. I think growing up, for me, there probably weren't as many women in sports, and if there were, they weren't at the level of this fandom that we're seeing today. The sports industry is expected to be $614 billion, with a B, by 2026. Think about that. All of your advertisers out here, all of the brands, all of the companies selling things, $614 billion. And why? As Scott said, it is culture, there is fandom. But what we think is so interesting about sports is everyone can participate in it, right? You can all see yourself playing a sport, and that sport may vary for everyone in this room, but we can all picture ourselves doing it from a very young age. Even myself, a suburban mom, was so inspired by sports this year that I joined the Port Washington Moms flag football team. True story. I played in one game, and I realized you can get hurt playing sports, even in a flag football game. And at that moment, I decided sports weren't for me, and I'm a Pilates girl. But either way, I was inspired, I tried it, I set that tone for my kids that anybody can participate. So how does the number one brand for jeans, number one jeans brand for Gen Z, and I've said that a few times, guys, how do we play in this sports game? It is really hard, right? It's so cluttered. There's also so many sports. Who knew? Now there's paddle, there's pickle. I know there's a special way to say paddle. I don't know how to say it. But there's really 4 key things that we at Eagle do to play in the sports game. So number 1, how do you surround the hottest moments in sports culture? How do you identify what they are? And then how do you participate? Eagle is clearly not endemic to sports, so how do we show up there? 2, how do you find the most trusted name in sports, right? How do we outfit them in the best fits? And maybe they can't wear that when they're actually participating, but if we think about sports today, how you show up to the game and how you leave the game is just as important as being in the game, which is, again, where I win. I would show up very nicely to the game, but in the game I wouldn't play, but I would have a great outfit, of course. So how do we pick those trusted voices and how do we outfit them? 3, partnerships in sports and sports gaming. Let's not forget about sports gaming. That is a very important extension that is important to Gen Z. It's not just what you're seeing on the field, it's how does that extend into that digital social gaming place. Who are those people who they go to understand where sports and culture collide? A really interesting thing, and I hope all of you guys will go home and take a look at this, is if you think about generationally, how people consume sports, it really does vary. And as you can tell, I'm going to give personal anecdotes today. If you look at, when we were kids, as if we're all the same age, like my father, as an example, he read the newspaper, and that's how he got sports scores. That evolved into obviously watching ESPN or wherever you consume your sports. Then, of course, you have your phone, right? I don't have mine. I'm always used to holding it. Let's pretend this is my phone. For the sake of this presentation, this is my phone. So on your phone, you're checking the sports scores. But what's interesting is my son, you know how he gets the sports scores? Alexa, what's the score of this game? It's very, very interesting. So what are those places, what are those partnerships where your customer is consuming sports? And last but not least, we can't forget about product. What are people wearing? What are those collaborations? How do you really create products that not only make somebody feel like they're a fan of the sport, but that they can participate in it? So that's what we're going to do today. There's always something happening in sports. Does everyone agree? This isn't even really everything. This is just like a little snapshot. You can always be consuming sports. Don't worry, guys. It's always here for you. So what's exciting about this is how this became a $614 billion industry, but it also is opportunity. Opportunity for every brand to find what are the sports that are most important to my audience and how can I participate in them. I feel that we missed a slide. There's supposed to be a video, but we're not going to watch it, but there was a really great video in here, okay? I'll just tell you guys about it for a minute. So,
Live your life. Live your life. Live your life. Live your life. Be who you want. Who are you? Do what you want. Live your life.
Live your life.
Live your life. Live your life.
I think it's different for everybody.
Live your life. Live your life.
Only you can be you. And just me. Live your life.
Live your life.
Live your life.
Do you know what you should do? What? You should live your life.
So when you watch that video, you really feel inspired. I actually like that you saw it before I said this. You really feel that inspired. You get that kind of just do it energy to you, right? So Coco and Trevor, so Trevor Lawrence, quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars and new dad. Coco Gauff, she just won the French Open. She's a two-time Grand Slam winner, friend of the American Eagle brand. That video, the most interesting fact about them is there was multiple videos. One's with them together, one's with them separate. What do we think performed better? There's no audience participation. Okay, so what performed better was the duel. And what does that tell me? It means exactly what we talked about earlier, that this idea of crossing generations, crossing genders is so important. Coco and Trevor speak to everyone, and together, it really speaks to the fandom and how people see sports. They see it for both men and women. They see different sports. They see football, they see tennis, they see gymnastics, they see volleyball. That is really what Gen Z is looking for when they think about sports. There's so much happening here. Okay, so hottest moments in culture. The Super Bowl, I think we can all agree, one of the biggest moments in sports. This year, 125 million people tuned in to watch the Super Bowl. It is a lot of eyeballs watching the Super Bowl for something that is on so late at night on a Sunday. I don't know why they do not change this. If anybody here works for the NFL, please make it earlier. So we decided to do this because it really was a moment in culture that we wanted to participate in. We knew that this is something that our customer was doing, something they were watching, and something they were excited about. There was a pre, during, and post component to the Super Bowl. But a critical thing was we had the right content. We had an NFL quarterback, right? So why not put that in the pre-show for the Super Bowl? CTV, that's where we knew our audience was spending their time, where they were gonna be watching it. 3 pre-rolls on the Super Bowl. But my favorite part of the Super Bowl was this. Does anyone remember what Kendrick Lamar wore in the halftime show? Thank you, thank you. Well, now we're getting into the participation. Have your coffee, everyone. So, true story, Kendrick Lamar comes out wearing the flares. I'm finally watching the Super Bowl because I'm watching all the dancing and the music and the halftime show before I went to bed. He comes out in these jeans and the internet goes crazy. Why is Kendrick Lamar wearing my American Eagle jeans from the 90s? Our social team sprang into action right away and just got into that conversation. There was live chatting, community talks, messages, etc. And then we woke up in the morning and we said, how do we really run with this? There was an 85% increase in search in American Eagle flares. 85%. I obviously went into the business meeting and told them that I did all of this, that I gave Kendrick Lamar these jeans. Thank you. But truly, this was organic. This is a viral moment. This is what a viral moment is meant to be that us marketers dream about. But what really set the internet on fire was Dumois posted that they really were American Eagle jeans. Was it true? Was it false? Were they Celine? We will never know. But this is really how this idea of sports and culture comes to life. And finally, we cared about what people were wearing at the Super Bowl more than the sport itself. And that was a really important moment for me. I told my husband I knew that the Super Bowl was really always about what you were wearing. He's not aligned. Love the Super Bowl. Obviously, with this came all the things that our marketers, us marketers love. Meta moment maker, boosting. How do we really take the most of this and extend it? Who do we gift flares to? We sent them to Kendrick. He hasn't worn them yet, but we are super excited, and this was a really great moment for us. 2, how do you outfit the most trusted names in sports? Who are they? Right here, Jeremiah Smith. He is a wide receiver for OSU and apparently is maybe going to be the #1 draft pick. Obviously, you've spoken about Coco, who on the court, amazing, in real life, amazing human. Trevor, we discussed. But here's a part that's really interesting. These are the people who are about to make it or just make it. You have people like Dalton Knecht, Cooper DeJean, who are rookies, but they're really making a name for themselves. On the bottom right, that picture of Cooper is his tunnel walk going into the Super Bowl. True story, the night before the Super Bowl, the deal was not inked with Cooper. The team sent him all the product, but we didn't know if it was going to be inked. So on Super Bowl day, I never really told anybody because we were afraid, what if the deal isn't getting inked and he doesn't wear the jeans? But he did. That's his varsity jacket from high school, and that's American Eagle jeans going into the tunnel walk. Kyan Anthony, Shiloh Sanders. These are NIL players who just got drafted. And what I love about this story is our customer can really see themselves in them. Kyan Anthony, he's a senior in high school. He goes to school in Long Island. His mom is Lala Anthony for all of us MTV lovers out there. Any Lala fans? Do you remember when she was a VJ? Carmelo Anthony is his father. But this kid, when he speaks, when he creates content, he is creating it for an audience that is our customer. A 15-year-old, a 20-year-old kid who's sitting at their home and saying, wow, I wonder if I could make it. And that's what I love about this. The athletic department. In 2021, NIL happened, the world blew up. We were one of the first brands to really start to participate in this. And what's interesting here, I don't know if other people agree, but they don't necessarily look like what you would consider to be an athlete. Livvy Dunne in the top right, our top performing NIL athlete of all time. She's a gymnast. Amazing content, amazing engagement. You have cheerleaders here, volleyball players. It really isn't just about one sport. It's about all of the sports that our customer sees themselves in. Athletes first. This is about partnership. Who are the right partners that are really combining sports and culture? And when I was saying before about checking the sports stats, that's important, but our audience wants more from sports, right? We were talking before about clothing. We're talking about what they're doing. It's weird. Now kids want to know what athletes eat for breakfast, right? It's not just Wheaties anymore. It's evolved. They want to know everything about their lives. What are they doing? How do sports and music come together? How do sports and fashion come together? So in partnership with Athletes First, we had 5 prospects. And the idea was for them to tell us their journey into being drafted. And just think about that. You're how old are you when you get drafted? 18, 19? 18, 19-year-old kid living in whatever suburban town you grew up in. And one day you're having dinner with your family, talking about the news, the weather, Johnny likes Sally, whatever you guys talk about at the dinner table. And the next moment, you are in the NFL. You probably got a big check, maybe got an endorsement brand from American Eagle. Your whole life has changed. So the idea was really pre, during, and post to follow them on their journey. And this felt really authentic to us because A, we want to inspire our audience, but B, it's this idea of living your life. They are out there, they are doing it. So with that, I'm gonna show you guys a little video of Xavier Watts when he got drafted. It's actually very emotional to watch these.
Xavier, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Hey, man, welcome to Atlanta. We're excited to have you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. No, I appreciate it. I'm excited to get to work. Let's do it.
And with the 96th pick in the 2025 draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Xavier Watts.
You can't help but smile, right? The music, the whole thing, they do a very good job. So this is really about telling that story. And content is king, right? I'm not gonna talk about AI in this, but if I don't talk about AI, I'm gonna talk about content. We as marketers need more content than ever before. And it's not just about having content, it's about the right content. So this content creates an avenue for our media team, some amazing people sitting in the audience, to have the right content to fuel the channels that they wanna be on. So you can't just go on ESPN with, I don't know, a beautiful girl frolicking in the fields, which we love, of course, but you want content that feels like the type of content these people want to consume in these channels. This is what they're looking for. They're looking for the stories. Oh no, okay. Overtime. So Overtime's a bit of a newer player, and how I would describe them as the platform for sports for the next generation. About 85% of their audience is under 35. And what's so interesting is not only do they create this behind the scenes sport content, what they do is they distribute it on the channels where this audience is consuming. Snapchat, YouTube, right? That's where these kids are consuming. So we've created a partnership with Overtime where we really have in-game conversations. There are people reporting on the sports, they're in Eagle, there's live ads, but this is something if you have not looked into, I think this is gonna really blow up for that Gen Alpha as well. Can't forget about sports gaming. Right? Sports gaming is huge. It extends beyond sports. It allows you to continue playing forever in endless hours to make your parents crazy, right? You can just have sports gaming happening all the time, constantly in your house, hypothetically. Other thing that's really interesting is it's every sport. There's NBA 2K, but there's volleyball, there's all those things. And this allows everyone to participate in it, but it creates amazing opportunities for brands to get scale in a different way. So I would definitely say this is a spot that is very hard to cut through in because I think when someone is gaming, they don't want to leave that experience. So you need to figure out how to do it in a way that you flow into it. See if you can spot us. There's little red things. But it's about consistency. It's showing up in the game consistently so you become a part of their experience when they are playing in that game. Last but not least, we can't forget about product. Amazing collaboration with Coco Gauff. This was really inspired by her famous speech about thank you to the people who didn't believe in me, authentically built in partnership with Coco. And then of course the graphics, right? We know this is a huge business, but you need to take the marketing and you need to extend it to product. That's what makes us all the good money, right? We need product to market. So NFL, NCAA, the Olympics, F1, which has become this crazy phenomenon. American Eagle really does make sure that when you come to our stores, you see us at the center of culture as well from a product perspective. And that product should really feel like you're playing, you're participating in whatever it is. You're not just a fan, you're part of the game. And with that, that's kind of how we are seeing ourselves in sports. I think sports is going to continue to evolve. We have amazing growth in soccer, right? Who knows what's going to happen there? That's an amazing opportunity for the US economy. And we know that the fan of soccer is really representative of that younger generation. So I think sports fandom's here. Hopefully girl power sports continue to grow. I hope to see many more Coco Gauffs out there in the world inspiring our children. And thank you very much.